Another round of Twins prospect highlights for you, starting with Walker Jenkins making a nice catch at the wall here. He's off to a great start in September in his first taste of Double-A. Good to see him also playing some good defense in center. Eduardo Tait against the 6'7 lefty on sidearm stays alive in a full count by fouling a ball that ricochets off his face. Just barely staying alive. That was way outside. And then the next pitch rips for a go-ahead double in the top of the ninth inning of a tie game here. Huge, huge moment for Eduardo Tait. Great to see him delivering in a big spot there against a tough matchup for the Colonels. Taking a look at Billy Amick, who missed some time with a separated shoulder, a shoulder injury. He only had 2 home runs in his first 53 games this year. Very uncharacteristic of what we were expecting from him. Well, he hit 2 home runs on Thursday alone this week. We'll take a look at those. And then he also followed that up with 3 doubles in a 4-hit game last night, Friday night. So Billy Amick finding his power once again. And again, this guy was a draftee who we really were expecting to hit for a lot of power. I expected him to kind of push for Twins minor league hitter of the year this year. And he's having a good season. I don't want to make it sound like he hasn't hit at all, because his batting average and his on-base percentage are both great. But it was just weird to see him not slug for so long. And it's maybe easy to wonder if that shoulder injury had been bothering him longer. But here are his numbers through Thursday. Again, 301 average and a 414 OBP. Nobody's going to complain about that. That's outstanding. But the 435 slugging is far below what I was expecting coming into the year. But great to see him finishing strong. And again, just calling out that in his college career, in 120 games, 36 homers and a 667 slugging. So maybe we'll see more of that next year from him. Aaron Sabato continues his late breakout. He had a 2-homer game on Wednesday. You see both of those. He's been really fun to watch for the Saints. Of course, he was really tearing it up for Wichita. He'd been there for a real long time, but he's definitely doing some damage with St. Paul, and he's been a fun reason to put a Saints game on, is to see if this big fella will rip into one. 12 home runs in 54 games. That's kind of the headliner for him. He's got 21 homers on the season. But in case, obviously the Twins could use some help, if you're wondering, hey, why hasn't this guy been up? 72 strikeouts and 12 walks. That was through Wednesday, I believe. I pulled these numbers. That's striking out about a third of the time and only walking 5.5% of the time. So he's going to have to improve upon those before he kind of gets some serious consideration for the big leagues. Marco Raya, who's kind of been in between roles of late, really bad start to the season for him. And it's been kind of inconsistent since then, but he seems to be kind of finding himself. Even his mound demeanor has been different of late. Tons of breaking balls. 40-pitch outing for him on Wednesday. 18 sweepers, 9 curveballs. That's over 2/3 of his pitches were breaking balls for Marco Raya, despite topping out at 96.6 miles per hour. So this guy has fastball velo. And there you see him pumping in the fastball. But him using that fastball off of his breaking pitches seems to maybe be a formula to continue to go down right now for Raya. He pitched great on Wednesday. Again, his whole demeanor, this was like one of the first times I've seen him smile on the field. So his whole demeanor seems totally different. I'm really excited about that. Maybe a multi-inning relief role is something to consider. Over his last 4 outings, a 2.79 ERA, a 1.14 whip. Now he did have a 5-walk outing in there, which is ridiculous. So, it's not all been encouraging for Raya, but he seems to be figuring stuff out, and he's still a young guy. So, keep him on your radar. Emmanuel Rodriguez is back playing rehab games with Fort Myers. I'm sure he'll be returning to the Saints before long. Made this nice catch in center field. Looking like the dynamic guy that he is. I just really enjoy him. He's an exciting guy. We've seen him in the field. Gets a single there. You'll see him steal a base on rehab assignment. He's mostly had hand injuries, which is why he's got this very extensive swapping. He uses his 2 oven mitt gloves now on the bases. But here he is stealing a base and then advancing to third on the bad throw. Again, he's down with Fort Myers rehabbing right now. He missed a ton of time this year, once again, after missing a ton of time last year. But I really, really enjoy watching him. There aren't that many guys as dynamic as Emmanuel Rodriguez out there, let alone in the Twins system, which, they talk a big game about wanting to be more athletic. Well, this is a guy here. But 47 games last year, 55 games so far this year. In AAA so far, not really tearing it up, but 410 OBP, a 416 slugging. He hasn't slugged a ton, but he does have that power. Strikes out quite a bit. That's kind of a hallmark of his game, but an exciting player I enjoy watching for sure. Wichita had a massive series this week that kind of has been disruptive against Tulsa. You see there the standings in the second half of their division. Springfield's already qualified for the playoffs, so Tulsa and Wichita are battling for the second spot. On Tuesday, Wichita won 12-2. Wednesday, their game was delayed and then postponed due to technical difficulties with stadium lighting. So weird to have that happen. So they had a doubleheader on Thursday that was split. And then last night, a long rain delay, and then a 7-inning game in which Wichita lost, a game that almost went to midnight locally there. So it's been I was really excited for that series. It's been really disrupted by rain and other difficulties, but hopefully these two games this weekend will be good. Speaking of this weekend, Connor Prelip is making his third AAA appearance for St. Paul today, Saturday. And then on Sunday, Ryan Gallagher is pitching for Wichita in that huge Tulsa series, so check that out. Thanks for checking this out. We'll talk again soon.